lying. Give him any space and he trying. Kill me. You know you ain't no good to me. Ooh, and I like the way you talk to me, but I can never roll with you. Cause every time I think upon the law, I know you never wanna do it. Too evil wanna go with me. Every little step he ain't getting over me. Dark cloud, rain falling all of me. Drowning every time he taking hold of me. Cause you know you ain't no good to me. You know you ain't no good to me. You know you ain't no good to me. You know you ain't no good. I've been.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Most High in Christ bless. How I sound? I sound good? Everything good? All right. All praises, all praises, all praises. All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is. It's hammer time. Hammer time. How you feeling, officer?
I'm feeling good. How about you?
Hey. You got Officer Abishai here. I'm feeling good.
Praises.
Officer Abishai. Introduce yourself, bro. What's your name?
Officer Ariel.
Officer Ariel. All right. So this is IUIC, Kansas City. Today we got Hammer Time. We doing Hammer Time. Y'all saw the title. Y'all saw the title of the class. Today we gonna keep it basic. We keeping it basic today. It's always good to go back to the basics. All right.
Sure.
So the title of the class is "I'm an Israelite. What now?" What now? It's I was inspired to do this class because I was at camp one day. And you go see a lot of people, they know they Israel. They know a little something, all right? So he said, yeah, what now? The brother say, I'm an Israelite, so what now? So that inspired me to do this class today. We got a lot of people that's waking up to becoming Israel, knowing they Israel. We have a lot of people in the congregation that's Israel, new brothers, new sisters. We growing. You see us. You seen us all at Passover. Right. We all over through the four corners of the earth pushing this gospel. So, question is, I'm an Israelite. What do I do now? Okay, what do I do now? Because what you gonna find out, is my mic good? Sound like I went down a little bit. It's good? Okay, all praises, all praise. Yeah, so what you gonna find out is this ain't the Christian church. This is not the Christian church. We ain't coming in here to be robots, to be forever students, like Bishop always tell. We ain't here to be just students forever. We're here to make leaders. We're making leaders, all right? So that's the thing. We're here to rise up to 144, all right? That's the end goal. When we get to 144, what happens? We get the kingdom. The kingdom is ours, all right? So that's all. That's the end goal. And we have to seal the 144,000 leaders for that to happen, okay? So let's start off with a script. Let's start off with Revelation. Revelation 7, let's start at verse 2. And this the deepest we're going to get today, Revelation, all right? And we're going to keep it basic, all right? Read that.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God.
It says he saw an angel. This is John the Revelation, all right? Revelator. He said he saw an angel that had a seal of the living God. What is that seal? What is that seal? That seal is the laws, okay? Let's get that. Let's get that precept before we go on. That seal of the living God is the laws, statutes, and commandments, all right? Let's get that. Isaiah 8, verse 16.
Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 16. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples.
So it says, bind up the testimony and seal the law. Seal the law. These laws and commandments, this Bible among the disciples. All right. So the seal is the law. Now let's go back. Let's go back to Revelation 7, verse 2.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God.
The laws of the living God. Read.
And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea.
So these angels, they're bringing destruction. World War III, all right? At the end of the day, this is when we gain the kingdom, all right? They're bringing destruction. It says, hold back that destruction until the 144 is sealed with the laws, okay? Keep reading.
Saying, Hurt not the earth,
hurt not the earth,
neither the sea,
neither the sea,
nor the trees,
Mm-hmm.
till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
So we have to seal the 144, all right? You keep reading down, it's going to go into the 144 of each tribe, all the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? Let's read verse 4. Let's get that. Let's just get it.
Verse 4,
Uh-huh.
and I heard the number of them which were sealed,
Uh-huh.
and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
That's the end goal. That's the end goal, all right? Like I said earlier, we ain't here to be forever students. We have to complete this goal. This goal has to be completed. But how? How do we do that? By creating these leaders, sealing up the laws, sealing these laws in the people's minds, okay? Let me get another script, Luke 4, verse 18, because I was once one of those people that was on the street, heard the street teachings. I was sick at one time, all right? Didn't know anything, didn't know my identity, didn't know my heritage, knew nothing, all right? So I was there, but now I know. Now I'm a leader. I'm a 50 in this congregation. You're a 20 in this congregation. Now we know. So what do we do once we know? All right, this is what we must do. Luke 4, verse, is it 17?
18.
18, read that.
Luke chapter 4 and verse 18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me.
Right.
Because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor.
So this is our goal. Let me get it. Luke 4, I ain't got it yet. Read it again.
Luke 4, verse 18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor.
So we are anointed as leaders. We are anointed. It's commanded of us to go preach the gospel to the poor. Who's the poor? The poor is you Israelites. You blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. You are the poor. All right, we got to go preach this gospel. Keep reading.
Preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted.
We got to heal the brokenhearted. Like I said, we were the brokenhearted. We knew nothing. We didn't know our heritage. We didn't know our customs. We were the brokenhearted. We the ones getting shot down in the street. We the ones first fired, last hired. We are the brokenhearted. You can name them Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, Mike Brown. You can name them. Then got shot down by the police. Injustices since we got over to this side of this earth. We are the brokenhearted. Keep reading.
To preach deliverance to the captives.
And at the end, we're preaching deliverance. We will be delivered from Jesus, the black Messiah. All right, read.
And recovering of sight to the blind. To set at liberty them that are bruised.
So this is the goal. We got to go out and recover the sight to the blind. All right, we blind. We groping at noonday. We look to Cardi B, P. Diddy, who else? Michael Jordan. All these false leaders that they put in our communities. We look to them as the leaders. They are not the guys.
Bring it out.
We are the leaders, all right? The 12 tribes of Israel, we are the leaders, okay? So we got to recover that sight to the blind. Show the people who they truly are. You are a nation of kings and priests, the greatest people on this earth.
That's right.
That's what we got to do, all right? All right, let's go. Let's get the next script. Isaiah 49. You got something?
Yeah, I was going to back you up
What
when
you
it
got?
said the blind.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to read it. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 17.
Right.
And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
So right there is telling you why we walk like blind men, because why? We sinned against the Lord. So when you go back to Luke 4 and 18,
Right.
he says he anointed us to preach this gospel to the poor, those that did not have these laws, the captives, those that the brokenhearted. But what must we teach to those people? The laws of God.
Like you said, the reason why we in this situation is because we broke God's laws. At the end of the day, no matter how you want to put it, we broke God's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why we're on the bottom, all right? The only way to fix it is to keep God's laws,
Bring it out.
all right? Let me get Isaiah 49 and 6. Isaiah 49 and 6. Because, man, it shouldn't be a grievous thing. I'm an officer. When you go outside, I know when I was a young buck back in the day, I used to get tired of trash being in my neighborhood.
Oh, man.
I used to get tired of seeing, just filth in my neighborhoods. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Liquor stores on the corner. got prostitution on the corner. This should anger you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You shouldn't be complacent or happy with that thing. You know, so this gospel, preaching this gospel, it shouldn't be a grievous thing. You should have the love for your people to want to raise them up. You get what I'm saying? You should have the love to want when I heard this gospel for the first time, I want to tell the world. I want to scream it from the mountaintops. That's the energy. That's the energy you should have in this truth. All right, read that Isaiah 49 and verse 6. Let me get it first. You got that 7-second down pack. Let me get it. Let me get it. All right, Isaiah 49 and 6.
Yeah, like you said, officer, you go outside, you just look out in your neighborhood, and you just get tired of the same stereotypes among our people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You see black men go down the same different modes. Like you got the one that wants to be the thug,
right?
The athlete,
right?
All these different stereotypes. You get tired of those things. The Lord has called us to something better.
Right. Exactly. Like you said, we're all we good. Jay-Z had a song about it. The only way you're going to get up out of the hood is you dribble up out of it, or if you sell drugs.
There you go.
No, that ain't it. That's not the answer. We got the answers right here. We didn't have the blueprint all our lives. Your grandmama, your great-great-grandmama, we had these Bibles in our houses. We just never followed it. This is what we got to do. Read that, Isaiah 49 and 6.
Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 6. And he said, "It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant."
So it's a light thing. It's a light thing to be God's servant, all right? To go out and teach your people. You shouldn't have to pull teeth to get this. That's what it means to be light.
Bring it out.
You shouldn't have to pull teeth. It's like sometimes you ask your brother something, it's like pulling teeth. It's like performing open heart surgery. You hear what I'm saying? It should be light. You should be pissed off at the conditions that your people in. But all of us ain't got that mindset. But we waking you up. We waking you up today. All right, Rick?
It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant,
right,
to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel.
So this is a light thing to raise up the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's what we have to do. That's what it is to be an Israelite. It's more than just coming in here, playing church, coming in just on being a Sabbath day Israelite. It's more than just a leisure time, having fun. You have to raise your people up. That's what God called us to do. That's what our forefathers did.
Right.
You name a prophet in the Bible, he wasn't sitting around twiddling his thumbs. No. They was making moves. I ain't have it down, but let me get it. 1 Corinthians 15. Paul is one of the prophets we should model ourselves after all of them. But this is one that I love to read about Paul, because his works was like no other. You get what I'm saying? Read that. Acts 15. Yeah, Acts 15, where it says he went hard. The grace that was given to him, I didn't have it written down. Hold on, bear with me, y'all. Acts 15, it says, through the grace that was given to him, he went harder than all the rest. You know what I want? And this is the mindset that we got to have, because all of us is guilty of sin, some type of sin, all right? Whether it be, in the world, we was often clubbing, drug dealers, we come from all types of backgrounds, murderers, killers, all of that. We all was guilty of some type of sin. And the grace that was given to us to know that we Israel, we got to take advantage of that thing. We can't just cast that behind ourselves, all right? We got to take advantage of that, because all of us were worthy to be put to death. All of us was worthy to be put to death. You got that? You find it? I got it. Let me find it. I got it right here.
Verse 15 to 10.
It's 1 Corinthians. I'm sorry.
15 and 10.
1 Corinthians 15 and 10. I don't know why I thought it was Acts, but this is the mindset that we got to have, y'all.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 10.
All right.
But by the grace of God, I am what I am.
Paul said, by the grace of God, he is what he is. Because Paul was into some mess. A lot of people lost lives. Israelites lost their lives because of Paul. All right, read.
And his grace, which was bestowed upon me, was not in vain.
You don't want the grace that the Father bestowed upon you to be in vain. Like I said earlier, we all worthy of death. We is all into all types of mess. You don't want to spit in Christ's face from giving you the grace to come into this truth. All right? Okay, read.
But I labored more abundantly than they all.
Paul said, I labored more abundantly than they all. Read.
Yet not I, but the grace of God which was with me.
So he says he labored more than all the disciples. He stayed moving. He was in Corinth for a year. He might have went to Ephesus for another 6 months. He stayed pushing this gospel. Because he know the grace that was bestowed upon him, he wasn't going to use it, but it wasn't going to be in vain. And that's the mindset that we got to have in this truth, the same mindset. But let me get back to it. Let me get Luke. Luke 17. Luke 17, verse 10.
Luke chapter 17 and verse 10. So likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants.
No, verse 20. I'm sorry. Verse 20. Yep.
And when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of God should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation.
So we got it. This go back to planned church. The kingdom of God is not going to come by observation. You're not just going to sit up here, fill seats, twiddle your thumbs, and think the kingdom's going to come. We have to put in work. All right, brothers, leadership, sisters, we all have a role to play in this congregation. And that's what we're going to get off into. We're going to get off into the role of brothers. Then, Lord's willing, you become leadership. And then we're going to go into the sisters as well, okay? So let's start off with brothers. All right. A new brother coming on the street. They don't know. They don't know what's required of them, okay? The first chapter, the guideline that I went through when I came into the truth was 1 Timothy 3. 1 Timothy 3. That's a good guideline of coming when you first come into this body, showing you what's required of you as a brother, okay? We all start off as brothers, then we excel from there, okay? Let me get that. 1 Timothy 3.
Start at verse 1.
Yeah, we're going to go here. We're going to go through it. We're just going to go through it. Read that.
1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth the good work.
Okay, so it says if a man desire the office of a bishop is just a leader, okay? We all should desire to be a leader. We shouldn't just want to be sitting here every day playing church, all right? That's a good work to desire the office of a bishop, okay? Read it again.
This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work.
Okay, read.
A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach.
Okay, so it says a bishop must be blameless. Must be blameless. What does it mean to be blameless? That means nobody can find any guile with you. Okay, they can find no sin in you. You're blameless when it comes to keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Ultimately, you must have your house in order. You can't come in here being a hypocrite. You cannot be a hypocrite in this truth. You must get your house in order. Then you can go teach the people. All right, let's get that. Then we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to 1 Timothy. You must get your house to know. What's that?
Second Ezra chapter 14 and verse 13. Now therefore, set thine house in order.
Hold on, let me get it.
Sir.
Let me get it. There you go. All right.
Second Ezra chapter 14 and verse 13. Now therefore, set thine house in order and reprove thy people.
It says, therefore, set thine house in order. Then you go correct your people. All right. You can't be a hypocrite in it. You can't tell somebody not to be a whoremonger when you're having sex outside of marriage. You're a whoremonger.
Or you don't got married. You're not married to your wife.
Or you're not married to your wife. You don't have marriage papers. You can't do that. That's out of order. And that's the same thing with anything. You can't tell somebody not to steal and you a thief. You got to get your house in order. You got to get your spirit in check.
Bring it out.
All right, read.
And reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble.
Right.
And now renounce corruption.
So it says, comfort such as them as be in trouble and renounce corruption. This is what we got to go comfort those brokenhearted. That's what we were going into earlier. Then when you get your house in order, you learn these laws, then you can go teach the people because you've learned by going through it. You've learned by that's the best. When you going through certain things, that's the best way to learn. So now another brother coming in, you can comfort them in that same thing.
Right.
I used to be I used to lust. Now I did A, B, and C. I meditated on the laws. Boom. This is what you need to do. All right. I used to be a thief. Boom, boom, boom. I meditated on these scriptures. This is what you need to do. But you must get yourself in order. Then you go comfort the people. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man.
Right.
Put off now the weak nature.
So it says, let go of mortal thoughts. Mortal thoughts are thoughts of the world. Thoughts of the world. Anything you was doing in the world, that's mortal thoughts. We have something greater to set our mind. We got to set our minds on things that are above. Okay? Mortal thoughts, you got to put away that old man and become a new creature in Christ. Okay? First, setting your house in order, okay? All right, now let's go back. Let's go back to 1 Timothy 3. 1 Timothy 3, start at verse 2.
1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2. A bishop then must be blameless.
Right.
The husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality,
Right.
apt to teach.
So it says vigilant, sober, good behavior. These are all attributes and qualities that we had in the world. We got to get rid of all of that BS. We got to kill that old man, all right? We can't be dealing the same way we're dealing in the world, all right? We can't be a hypocrite. Let me get, what do I want? Sirach 4. Sirach 4, he'll walk by him with crooked ways.
Is that 4:17?
4:17.
Sirach chapter 4 verse 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him.
So it says, at first she will walk with him by crooked ways. Who is she? Who is the she? She is talking about is wisdom, these laws, okay? Let's read up. Let's get that. Verse 11.
Sirach 4 verse 11. Wisdom exalteth her children and laid hold of them that seek her.
So that she is talking about is wisdom, the laws, okay? So now we know who the she is. Now let's go back to verse 17.
Verse 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him.
So it says at first wisdom will walk with you by your crooked ways. That going into how you're dealing in the world. How you're dealing in the world, the sins that you were dealing with when you were in the world. She will walk with you, okay, for a time, okay? But it says, and it will bring fear and dread upon him and torment him by her discipline. How does wisdom do that? Because now you know you an Israelite. Now I can't get that pack of cigarettes. Now I can't sleep with this woman outside of marriage. Now I can't go steal a candy bar from the store. I can't do these things anymore. She's walking with you and she's tormenting you by her ways, all right? That's what she's doing. Keep reading.
By crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him and torment him with her discipline until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws.
So, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws, she will open up you will get more wisdom when you show that you're worthy of that thing. All right? She has to trust you. Wisdom has to trust you first before she will give you more wisdom by trying you by her ways. All right? You had something?
I was about to say on verse 17, like you were saying, like the point of your class about the steps. When we go back to 2nd Ezra, it said, put off the weak nature. And you go to 1 Timothy 3, that's a process. And what you're reading right here is that process in between putting off the weak nature.
Right.
Wisdom has to try you by her laws.
Right. It's a process. It's all a process. When we come in, we must offend less. You ain't going to get it overnight, but you must offend less daily, okay? All right, read verse 18.
18. Then will she return the straight way unto him and comfort him and show him her secrets.
Then she will return the straight way unto you and comfort you and show him her secrets. Then that's when the understanding comes in. You're getting to that next level of leadership, all right? But you must be tried by her ways, okay? All right, let's go back. 1 Timothy 3. We're going to be jumping back and forth because like I said, 1 Timothy 3 is the guideline, a guideline of becoming a leader for a brother coming into the body, okay? Meditate on this thing. 1 Timothy 3.
1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife,
Right.
vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach.
Apt to teach. Apt to teach. I want to touch on that, all right? Because like I said, we're building God's army, okay? We're building leaders. So when you come into this body, you have to be apt to teach or learn to be apt to teach. That way you can excel to the next level and teach the brother under you. And so on and so forth, okay? How do you become apt to teach? How do you become apt to teach? We're going to get it. You must get around learned men. You must be around the men of understanding, okay? So let's get that. Sirach, where is it at? Sirach 3. Sirach 3. No. Sirach 6. I'm sorry. Sirach 6:32.
Got you. Sirach chapter 6 verse 32.
Right.
My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
Okay, so it says, my son, if you will, you shall be taught. You shall be taught. If you want this understanding, you will get it. You will go and obtain that thing, okay? You will be taught. Keep reading.
And if thou, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
So, and then going into that, it says, if thou will apply thy mind. That's going into what I was saying earlier. Right. You can't be entertained by the world anymore, okay? Instagram, on TikTok all day, NBA Finals. That's all you want to feed your spirit. You won't learn that way. You'll never learn that way. You have to want to go and obtain this understanding, all right? Read.
If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise.
Okay, you must bow down your ear, but it's going to go into it. Verse 34.
Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise.
So it says, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave to him that is wise. Who is that? Who are the wise men among us? That's the elders. Those are the elders, the men of understanding, the men that have been doing this for a couple years, that have been going through this Bible, they've been through some certain trials, been through some things. Those are the wise. That's who you need to get yourselves around, all right? Because what we need to understand is a lot of us in the world, we don't know what it is to be a man. We really don't. We have a worldly connotation. What is it? Worldly thought of what it is to be a man. We really don't know what it means to be a man. Being a man is keeping God's laws and commandments. At the end of the day, that's being a man. And a lot of us didn't even grow up with fathers in the household. We were raised by our mothers. And some of us that did have fathers, our fathers weren't teaching us the right things. What they teaching you? Hey, son, there's many fish in the sea. Teaching you all manner of wickedness. You get what I'm saying? Right. We don't really know what it is to be a man. So we must get around our spiritual fathers to learn this thing. All right. You got that in Maccabees?
I got Sirach 37 and 12.
That'll work. Let's get it.
Sirach chapter 37 and verse 12.
Here, let me get it real quick. Hold up. You know you got it. Sirach 37.
Yes, sir. Verse 12.
Verse 12. Get it.
But Sirach 37 and verse 12. But be continually with the godly man,
right,
whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
There you go.
Whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
So it says, be with a godly man. A godly man is one that keeps the commandments. Point blank, period. All right. We must surround ourselves with godly men. It says, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. So we must get around like-minded people. All right. You knowing you an Israelite, you can no longer hang with your best friend selling drugs.
Right.
Or your sister that's in the club. You have to be around godly men. You have to, because like it says in Proverbs, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the wicked will seduce you. The wicked will seduce you, and you will be right back on the corner selling a half pound or whatever. Or worse. You'll be worse. So you must be around godly men, okay? Let me get that in Maccabees. Second Maccabees, 264.
I got you. First Maccabees chapter 2,
Yeah,
verse
there you
64.
go. Yep.
Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law.
So this is our forefather. He says, be a man in behalf of the law. That's all our forefathers taught us. They taught us keep God's laws. This is what makes you a man. How? When you lay with a woman, you marry that woman. That's what a man does.
Bring it out.
When you have a child, you take care of that child. When you have a family, you take care of that family. Don't smoke. Don't defile your temple. That's what it is to be a man. Go and teach your people these things. That's what it is to be a man. Keeping God's laws. Point blank, period. What you got?
I'm about to say, officer, and then just in what it said in Sirach 37 and 4 and 17. Being a man is keeping the commandments, but ultimately is having discipline. Discipline to keep those laws, statutes, and commandments. Because nobody wants to get up and go to work.
Right.
Nobody wants to. Sometimes it becomes a burden to what? What's other things we got to do that take discipline? It takes discipline for a man to not look upon a woman in lust.
Yeah.
All that takes discipline.
Yeah. That's what it is to be a man, though. A lot of men, grown boys, basically, we don't have discipline. We like little children. That's like a little child. You know, a little child has no discipline. Do whatever, cry, throw a tantrum, have a fit. That's not what it is. That's what these men are today, grown boys. It's about having discipline in God's commandments, all right? Was that it on that?
Yeah, that was it.
Let me get 1 Kings. I got to get 1 Kings. Just to show the people this is all our forefathers talked about. This is what the guideline, the steps to becoming a man was. Read that.
1 Kings chapter 2, verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
So this is King David speaking to Solomon. He's saying the same thing. He said, read it again.
I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
It says, show thyself a man. It's going to explain how. Keep reading.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God.
It says, keep the charge of the Lord thy God. Keep reading.
To walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments,
right,
and his judgments and his testimonies,
right,
as it is written in the law of Moses.
So this is what was commanded of us. Be a man and keep God's laws and commandments, all right? But keep reading.
That thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest.
Right.
And whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
Right. So this is how we prosper as a nation, keeping God's laws. Just like you said earlier, officer, the reason why we in this situation is because we broke his laws. The only way to fix it is to come back to his laws, okay? That's the blueprint. That's the end goal, all right? That's it. All right, let's keep going on. Let's keep going on. This time going by faster than I thought it was, and I ain't even got to the leaders yet. All right, let's get Sirach 38, and I'm gonna end it with the brothers on that. So yeah, we must come up out of the world. We have to come out of the world. All right, we have to kill that old man. Let's get Sirach 38.
24.
Yep.
Sirach chapter 38 and verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure.
So it says the wisdom cometh by opportunity of leisure. Like it said in Sirach 6, if you want wisdom, you will go get it in your leisure time. Okay, it's what you want to feed to your spirit at the end of the day. All right, brothers, they wanted the cheat code to getting wisdom. They want the secret precepts. No, it's up to you. In your leisure time, instead of playing video games or instead of watching the finals or whatever you off into, you need to go and seek that wisdom. All right, keep reading.
And he that hath little business shall become wise.
And the little business is talking about is the business in the world. Okay, you can't be occupied by the world. Keep reading.
Verse 25. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and that glorieth in the goad,
right,
that driveth oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks?
So this is the brother that he leave or he don't come to the Sabbath because he got to work. or he leave early because he got to work. Everything that come out of his mouth is work. Work, 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 work. How can I build Esau's kingdom? That's all he's occupied with.
We
all
talking
right?
about war. That brother talking about his job.
Yeah. I want to. I ain't gonna put the brother on. But yeah, they talking about work. All right. That's not the mindset to have. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 26. He giveth his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kind fodder.
Right. So this is just going into different occupations as we keep reading on. You have the carpenter, who he's all caught up in his work, carpentry. You have the potter. You have different lines of work, and they're caught up in that. All right, instead of God's laws. Okay. Let's go to verse 31 for time's sake.
Verse 31, all these trust to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work.
So all these trust in their hands. They wise in their work. They know you got somebody that work on cars. They can tell you everything about the engine. You get what I'm saying? They can even go to NASCAR, tell you everything about NASCAR. But you ask them about what scripture you meditate on with your lusting spirit. I don't know. I ain't got nothing for you because you wise in your work. You wise in Esau's kingdom. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 32, without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down.
Right.
They shall not be sought for in public council.
So it says these men, they won't be sought for in public council. Read.
Nor sit high in the congregation.
Read.
They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment.
Right.
They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken.
So this is going to everything we were going into before. It says you won't be sought for when it comes for counsel, when it comes for understanding, teaching your people, giving your people the medicine. You won't be sought for that thing. All right. It says you won't sit high. You won't raise to the next level. You'll be stagnant. You'll be a forever brother. Forever, you got brothers that have been in here for years. Forever brothers, forever soldiers, just at one level because you're occupied in your work, all right? It says, and where parables are, when the leadership is around, you in the back somewhere. You on your phone. You checking when are they gonna call me into work? You occupied in your work. You'll never excel like that. Okay?
They're not traveling.
And they not, and it goes on into that. The further you read, it goes into traveling, being around leadership, being around the men of understanding. This is the only way that you will excel. Okay, you'll never excel. So as a brother, you must come in, get your house in order, get wisdom, get around to learn men. Okay, then you'll excel to the leadership level. Okay, now let's get into the leadership. We got leaders amongst us. Okay, let's get that where Moses set up leaders amongst them. Deuteronomy, yep. Let me get that. Deuteronomy 1:15. Because like I said, we're building leaders, all right? And we had leaders throughout the scriptures, okay? All throughout the scriptures. You can't do it alone, all right? We have to seal the 144. And as are leaders of the 144. Read that, Deuteronomy 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 15. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over 50s, and captains over 10s, and officers among your tribes.
So it says, these are the wise men amongst you, the men of understanding, the men that have went through the steps to get that wisdom, okay? This is where we get the officer of 10, the officer of 20, the officer of 50, captains and so on, bishops on down, okay? This is what we're setting up. We're setting up able men in the scriptures to go out and teach the people, okay? That's the goal as a brother to get to this level, okay? Let me get Exodus 18. Exodus 18, I got to go fast. I think it's 21. Yeah, let's start it. Let me get it first. Genesis. Okay. Yep. Read that.
Exodus chapter 18. You want to start at 20?
Yeah.
Verse 20. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws. and show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do.
So this is what the able men, the leaders must do. We got to teach them ordinances and laws, okay? How do you teach somebody ordinance and law? You got to know the law.
Right.
You got to study that thing, all right? You can't teach somebody something that you don't know, all right? So this is what we do. In the way that they must walk, in the work that they must do. You do that by doing the work yourself. All right, you teach them by your experiences. Okay, I've done this. This is how you do that. All right, I've studied this law. Boom, this is the law on that. Okay, keep reading.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men.
It says able men, able men. We ain't just putting up anybody. You gotta show by your works that you're an able man. When you are a soldier, you should be doing the work of a what? Of a 10.
Of a 10.
When you're a 10, you should be doing the work of a what? A 20. A 20 should be doing the work of a 50. This is how you're showing that you're an able man, okay? This is how you elevate, okay? And that's the goal. We can't stay stagnant. It ain't no such thing as being stagnant in this truth. Right. That's what I tell brothers. You either going backwards or you going forward. And it would behoove you to keep going forward. All right? Keep pushing. Keep going. Because that's all we doing in IUI. We ain't going backwards. You either falling off the train or you rolling.
Get
all
right
right?
or get left.
You getting right or you getting left. So it behooves you to keep going forward. All right? Read.
Such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them, to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s.
So, like I said, these are the leaders amongst us, okay? Men that fear the Lord. What does it mean to fear the Lord? Again, it's going back to keeping the commandment. Let's get it. I ain't have it on there. Sirach 2, quick scripture. What does it mean to fear the Lord? It all comes back to keeping the commandments at the end of the day.
Got you.
All right?
Sirach chapter 2, verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his words.
So, is that it on that?
No, it's more.
Yep, read.
And they that love him will keep his ways.
So it says, if you fear the Lord, you wouldn't disobey his word, his commandments, all right? And if you love him, you're going to keep all his ways. Not some of them, not a portion of them, all his ways, okay? This is what it means to fear the Lord, all right? So let's go back to Exodus 18. Exodus 18, the able men, okay? That's what we raising up, able men. All right, read that.
Exodus 18 and verse 22. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee.
So we got bishops all the way down to members, okay? Small matters, that's what your 10s, your 50s, on down. They handle those small matters. Bishop and the deacons can't do it alone. They need able men to be set in these different offices, these different positions to handle certain matters, okay? We have, and we just growing. We growing by the day.
Right.
So we need more and more able men to set in place to handle these matters, to help out the deacons, the bishops, the captains, all right? But let's drop that for time's sake. Give me 2 Chronicles, because I got to go to our forefathers, the mindset of our forefathers. Our forefathers always had a mindset to work, okay? We ain't pulling no teeth. I'm going to tell you that right now. We ain't pulling not a tooth. You got to show that you're willing to do this work. All right, 2 Chronicles, what I got, 34 and verse 1. Let's start at verse 1.
2 Chronicles chapter 34 and verse 1. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 31 years.
So this is the forefather Josiah, all right? And he was beginning to reign in Jerusalem. Keep reading.
And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the ways of David his father, and declined neither to the right hand nor to the left.
So Josiah, he was one of the righteous kings of Israel, okay, of Judah, of southern kingdom. I'm going to put that out there, of southern kingdom. He was one of the righteous kings. He kept the laws. He kept the charge, okay? He understood the mission. All right, read.
For in the 8th year of his reign, while he was yet young, he began to seek after the God of David his father. And in the 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places and the groves and the carved images and the molten images.
Right. So like I said, King Josiah, he understood the mission, all right? Just like we should as well. Us coming into this truth, we got to understand the mission, all right? We're casting down imaginations, pulling down strongholds. The same thing our forefather was doing. When he says he pulled down images, groves, molten images, that's all the idolatry. Idolatry that we was caught up in. We doing the same thing when we going out and teaching on the street.
Bring it out.
When we going through the four corners of the earth, we understood the mission, all right? You wanted to say something?
I was about to say, you think he cared about how they felt about him pulling down those
Hell
idols? Because
no.
they had him set up.
Hell no.
So he didn't care about how the people felt. He was keeping God's laws.
That's
He didn't
it.
decline to the left or to the right
He
hand.
don't. Hey, you can't be offended in Christ.
Right.
It says if you offended in Him, He gonna be offended in you.
Bring it out.
All right. We gotta understand the mission. All right. Don't trim your ways for nobody for nothing. All right. Keep reading.
And they break down the altars of Baalim and his presence and the images that were on high above them. He cut down and the groves and the carved images and the molten images. He brake in pieces and made dust of them and strode it upon the graves of them that had sacrificed unto them.
So, like I said, King Josiah, for time's sake, King Josiah was casting down all imaginations, destroying all idols. All right. Same energy we have to have. All right. Let's get verse 12. This is the point.
Verse 12. And the men did the work faithfully.
It says the men did the work faithfully. He didn't do it. You think Josiah was going around pulling all this down by his damn self? No. He had able men of understanding, men that knew the goal, men that knew the charge. He had able men. Read it again.
And the men did the work faithfully.
Faithfully. What does it mean to be faithful? That means ain't nothing turning you to the left or the right.
Right.
They did it. Everything they ate, breathed, slept, everything was this work. All right. They did it faithfully. Read.
And the overseers of them were Jathah and Obadiah,
Right.
the Levites of the son of Merari,
Right.
and Zechariah, and Meshulam of the sons of the Kohathites to set it forward. And other of the Levites, all that could skill of instruments of music.
So these are the faithful men, the men of understanding that he had around him that understood the goal, okay? We have to have that same energy as well. When we were raised up in this truth, it ain't just for title. It's not for title. A lot of people think it's for a title, now I'm a 10, I'm over. No, it's about doing the work. To much is given, much is required, okay? Let's get that. To much is given, much is required. Luke 12, and then after that, give me, where does it say, be wary and well-doing. Be wary and Luke 12. Luke 12, 48. Let me get it. We got a little bit more time.
Let me go ahead and read.
Yeah, go ahead.
Luke chapter 12, verse 48. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes.
Okay, so that's going into the brother that just came in. He don't know no better, okay? It says, them that were did things worthy of stripes were beaten with few stripes. Read.
For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required.
So you become a 10, you become a 20, 50, on up. Much is required of you. You got to go that much harder. You got to travel that much more. You are 50, you got 50 families that you over.
Your life ain't yours.
Your life ain't yours at the end of the day. Just like Paul, his life wasn't his.
Right.
That's the mindset. We can't be caught up in the world. We can't be caught up in the NBA draft, the NFL draft, what Cardi B doing. We got to get up out of that. We can't be caught up. Your life is no longer yours the more and more you excel. Like it says, I want Matthew. You a servant. Where is it at? Matthew, he that is greatest among you is a servant. I might be butchering it. Matthew, I'm going to find it. Yep. Matthew. Chapter 32, verse 11. You will know life is no longer yours, all right? You are a servant to the people.
You said Matthew 32?
Yeah, Matthew 23, verse 11.
Yeah, I got you. Matthew chapter 23 and verse 11. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased.
Right.
And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
So it says, he that is greatest among you shall be a servant. Why is that? Like I said, you were 20, you got 20 families to worry about. You worried about giving these families the right understanding, the right medicine, the right counsel. You are servant to those families. And the more and more you elevate in this truth, you can only imagine what the bishops have to go through on a daily basis. Their life ain't theirs. Our life ain't ours. The captains on down, you can only imagine what they go through. It ain't just for title and fame. You putting in work, all right? Read verse 12 again.
Verse 12. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased.
It says if you exalt yourself, that exalting yourself is having the mindset of the Pharisees. They did it all for vain glory, all for show, okay? It says you will be abased. You must humble yourself. You must be humble when you rise in this congregation. It says pride is the beginning of turning from your maker, okay? You can't have pride on you. You can't. You will be abased. You will come to nothing if that comes on you. Let me get that. What did I want? Not pride, but
Galatians 6.
just Sirach 3. Sirach 3. Humbling yourself. You must humble yourself when you become a leader. Okay. Sirach 3, verse 18. This is the mindset you must have.
Sirach chapter 3, verse 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord.
So, like I said, the greater you become, the more humble you must become. Don't get pride on you. Don't think you the top, the top guy. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Head honcho. No, you are a servant to the people. Okay, you are a servant to the people. That's a leadership mindset. Okay. All right. I got a few more precepts. Let's just go and get to it. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 9. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 9. This is what we got to do. Before that, Proverbs 15, verse 28, then Wisdom of Solomon. This is what we got to do. Like I said, we're giving people the counsel. We're giving people the understanding, the medicine that they need. So this is what we must do. Read
Proverbs 15 and verse 28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer.
It says the heart of the righteous studieth to answer. You got to be studied in the law. You got to be studied in Paul's epistles. You got to be studied in this Bible to give answer, to give the counsel, to give the medicine to the people that need it. Okay, read.
But the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things.
Okay, but the mouth of the wicked will pour out vain opinions. They ain't everything they say is carnal. That's the mouth of the wicked. You have to be meditated on this law. Okay, let's get Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 9. We got to get it.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 9. Unto you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom and not fall away.
So it says, to you kings, we are the kings and priests, okay? He says, you must learn wisdom. Learn wisdom. We've been going through all the steps to learn that wisdom, all right? Read.
For they that keep holiness holily shall be judged holy, and they that have learned such things shall find what to answer.
Right. So if you read it again, where you at? Verse 10?
Yes, sir.
Read it again.
For they that keep holiness holily shall be judged holy.
So it says, if you keep holiness holy, you shall be judged holy. Read.
And they that have learned such things shall find what to answer.
So if you learn this law, you find what to answer. Read.
Wherefore, set your affections upon my words.
Right.
Desire them, and ye shall be instructed.
So we must set our affection upon God's laws and commandments, his words, okay? And it says, desire them, and ye shall be instructed, okay? This is what we have to set our minds on. Not the ways of the world, not Esau's kingdom, God's laws, as a leader to teach those that seek learning, okay? All right, let's go. Let's go. Let me get 2 Ezra 9, verse 7. I got about 5 minutes. 2 Ezra 9, verse 7. Because we got to understand, you're not going to observe this kingdom coming. You're not going to just sit back and twiddle your thumbs and think you're going to inherit that kingdom, okay? You got to put in work. You're wasting your time if you ain't putting in no bricks, all right? Read that.
2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 7. And every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed.
So it says, and everyone that shall be saved will be saved by his works. What works are you putting in? Are you going to the Gatorade fundraisers? Are you doing this on a sewing committee? Are you on a kitchen committee? Or it's so much work that we can do.
Classes that leadership do.
Classes that leadership do, teaching the people. Are you going to camp? What works are you doing? All right, you must be putting in work. Read it again.
Verse 7, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works.
And escaping is escaping destruction. Destruction, all right? The destruction that's coming for when Christ comes, okay? Read.
And by faith, whereby ye have believed.
So this is how you show your faith. A lot of people say that they believe. You putting it, having no works, you don't believe. You don't believe. If you don't have any works, you have no belief. Like it says in James, show me your faith by your works. Okay, we ain't going to get it for time's sake. But if you don't have any work, you don't believe. This is how you will be saved, okay? All right. We got to go ahead and finish it on out. Let me get, I was going to get the sisters, but we got to keep going. Let me get Sirach 24, verse 34. Sirach 24, verse 34. We got to understand, at the end of the day, we're not doing this for ourselves, okay? We're here to raise up the 144 and the elect to bring this kingdom, okay? And it won't come by observation, all right? Read that.
Sirach chapter 24, verse 34.
Here, let me get it real quick. I'm almost right behind you. I'm right behind you. All right, read that.
Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom.
So this is it. This is why we're here. We're not here for ourselves, okay? As leaders, we're here to become leaders, brothers, sisters, everyone. You're here to elevate in this truth. Brothers, you are here to become a leader. And then you're doing it for those that seek learning, to bring up the next brother, and the sisters, to bring up the next sister, all right? And so on and so forth, to raise the 144 and the elect, okay? So I had more on that, but I got to end it. I don't want to go too far. I might do another part to this class. But, yeah, that's it. What is required of you? Like I said, we get this question a lot on the streets. We see a lot of people coming to the congregation, and they may not know what it is, okay? This is the answer, all right? You must be putting in work, okay? That's what's required of you as an Israelite, okay? So I'm Officer Abishai. I got
Officer Ariel.
Officer Ariel. That's HammerTime. HammerTime for today, all right? Israel, shalom, Most High, and Christ bless.
Most High and Christ bless.
Headphones back when I'm riding, evil from within, I'm minding. Kill 'em. You know you ain't no good to me. I've been holding you back from the lying, giving many spaces.